Well, hey everybody, it's Sandy and welcome back to my channel dedicated to helping you advocate for your own health one topic at a time. So I actually just did this video and I'm having to re-record the whole thing because I held the phone the wrong way. So it was that really annoying thing where you see like black boxes on either side of me, and I thought I'm not going to do that to everybody. So I'm going to do the best I can here. I did reconsider on the Paxlovid, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment. First I'll tell you just how we both are. We're both better. So why did I rethink the Paxlovid? I'm going to tell you in a minute. As far as the respiratory symptoms are concerned, I've kept saying all along, this is like the mildest cold I've ever had, and I haven't wanted to jinx myself and get too cocky, but now it's I'm post 48 hours at this point, probably more, because who knows exactly when symptoms begin, who remembers? Like sometimes you look back and go, oh, actually, a few hours before that I had something weird and maybe that was part of my symptom. Anyway, I have until now been very reserved about it, and I still don't want to be cocky, but I can say that it's definitely been a clear trajectory so far. I have gotten better each day, and it really wasn't even bad to begin with. I have a really rough time with normal everyday colds. Like sometimes I end up with that post-infectious bronchitis and I'm coughing for 2 weeks. Occasionally I take a steroid dose pack afterwards. If every cold was like this, I'd be golden. So as far as the respiratory symptoms, I don't have so much of a sore throat anymore. My nose is just a little bit stuffed up. My husband started taking Paxlovid. He's been 24 hours already, so he didn't cough at all last night. I still had a little of that dry cough, and like that kind of thing, still clearing the throat a little bit, but mostly it's just the tiniest bit of nasal congestion, not enough to even bother me. If I didn't know I had COVID, I wouldn't think much of this. So why did I decide to then reconsider on the Paxlovid? So, at first I was like, nah, I'm not going to take it. Now, it's everything is a risk-benefit analysis, and one of the issues is that, I'm not over 60. I don't fall squarely into a risk group, although I do have some autoimmune stuff, but that's not a published, category. I'm not immune suppressed right now. But I did have one symptom that was going in the wrong direction. I had mentioned that I had some GI symptoms. I was having some diarrhea. That's gotten a little bit worse. It's not terrible. I think that, it's the body's way of ridding a virus, and that's, somewhat normal. But I noticed that getting a little bit revved up. So those of you who have been watching my content for a while know that about a year ago, after surgery, I had a C. diff infection. And after that, I had some post-infectious irritable bowel, which is not uncommon. And it did resolve. It took a while to resolve. But it did, and in the meantime, while I was going through it, it was terrible. It was really hard to deal with. I mean, just emotionally, psychologically, physically, it was painful. But yeah, I never knew if I was afraid to go anywhere because like I needed to be near a bathroom and stuff. I just started to wonder if that was kind of getting kicked up. Like maybe my GI tract is the place where some of my inflammatory stuff sort of makes its statement. I have celiac, and so. Yeah, I just didn't want to take the chance if that was going in the wrong direction. There's no real literature on Paxlovid and diarrhea, but if that is part of the inflammatory process, then it would make sense that if I decide to go ahead and take something to tamp that down and help me out a bit, that it would curtail that too, or at least give me a chance at curtailing that. I'm also going to be on a plane in about another week, not even, and anyway. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and start taking it. As far as like, why didn't I take it before? Because a lot of people say, oh, just take it. It's, it's pretty benign. No drug is totally benign. It can theoretically cause liver problems. I didn't see any real case reports on that. It's just because of the kind of drug it is. That's one of the warnings. I don't think in the clinical trials there were any incidents of liver injury. It's hard on people who have kidney problems. So my kidney problems, my kidney health, thank God, is fine. My liver health, thank God, is fine. So that was kind of off the table, but I am in a foreign country. I'm not near my normal healthcare system. I'm sure the healthcare system here I know it's good, but any chance at all of, anytime you introduce a new drug, especially if you're sick, you're introducing the chance of an allergic reaction and, some kind of an adverse event or something. And if I didn't need it, I didn't really want to do that. If I'd been home, maybe that would have been a different calculus. But then once this morning I saw the GI stuff was going the wrong way, it just feels like it's sort of an inflammatory thing starting, and it's still not real bad. I'm hoping it stays that way. So I just decided to get started on the Paxlovid. So that's why. As far as what else I'm doing, I am still doing the Innovid. So let me just talk about the Innovid. Sorry, I keep changing hands because my arm's tired. I don't have my tripod. I'm holding the phone. I'm using Manuka honey a couple times a day. I'm using the Enovid around the clock. So some people messaged me and said, "Oh, the Enovid didn't work because you got COVID." I don't know. I had said in earlier videos where I talked about Enovid that the clinical trials, in my opinion, that looked at it as a preventive were impressive, but the ones that looked at it as a therapeutic were much more impressive. So even if I got it, that wasn't. There's no guarantee anyway, but it didn't seem even unlikely that I wouldn't get it, even though I'm using Enovid. But it does seem, based on their clinical trials, that it really helps in reducing the viral load pretty quickly, and that you can test negative like a few days earlier than if you don't take it. Of course, now that I'm on the Paxlovid, we're blurring that with another variable, but it's a benign thing, so I decided I was going to keep using it. My guess is that it does help. All these things help some. My guess is no one thing is doing everything. If I had to take a shot at what's the heavy hitter here, is that well, the fact that this case seems so mild, at least at this point, and has continued to get better each day, I would say it's because I got boosted so recently. I think the vaccine is the heavy hitter all the way around. So my boost was about 6 weeks ago, maybe a tiny bit more. I don't think it's 7. I have to look, but I think it's roughly 6 weeks ago. It's like the second week of April. And I've said before that my hunch is that you have to be a little bit strategic, because the immunity from boosters goes up pretty quick, and then it fades pretty quickly. It declines. And I think I would have been fine if I waited 3 months or 4 months to get out. I hope that I'm not trying to discourage anybody from getting back to their life or trying to find their new normal, because that's the stage that I'm at. But I felt like it was a security blanket for me to plan it in this way. And I thought, let me have the most protection I can get. So let me plan to get my boost. And it was 10 months since my previous boost. So then I got the Omicron boost about 6 weeks ago, knowing that I was going to be traveling and trying to just make myself get back to a new normal, or, a normal life, and reduce my mitigation, knowing full well I could get COVID. Now, I did think it would take a couple months. It didn't. It took like a week. So I think the vaccine is most of that. Do I think that I'd be fine without the Paxlovid? Yeah, I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, the GI symptoms I'm having don't seem like the IBS that I had, like after C. diff, but I know that my digestive tract has had some struggles in the last year, and I guess any chance that I can help it for minimal risk is my thinking on the Paxlovid. I'd be very happy to hear anybody's thoughts on that, anybody's experiences on that, because there's no, documented. There's no literature on Paxlovid if you cross-reference it with GI stuff. So it could be that the GI stuff would have just stopped whenever I've cleared the virus myself. So what else was I going to say to you guys? The Manuka honey I mentioned, I think that's helping a lot. I do want to say thank you so much. I had so many people message me with good wishes for myself and for my husband. And it's funny, if you read the news, you don't realize what a nice world it is. And if you've been kind of isolated, you also don't realize there's so much nice and good out there. And I was just reading through yesterday some of the comments I got from people. And I just spontaneously said to my husband, who was next to me, I said, there's some really nice people out there. And he said, yeah, there are. And that was just all because of all the comments and feedback that I've seen. I got a few, not very nice things. Some stuff I think people are well-meaning, but, I'm fortunately, my head is in a good place, and sometimes things are kind of scary and there's no need to say it. But we're all taking our risks here. There's no way to not be a little bit concerned about something unless you're an idiot, or you're just not taking any risks at all, and you're still very isolated. And I'm not going to knock anybody for that, because I pretty much did that for like 3 years, but I've decided that's done now. So I've got to pick and choose my risks. And yeah, I'm a little scared of this. I'm a little scared of the Paxlovid, whatever. But I think that's life. I think we all pick and choose what risks we're going to take. And fortunately, I'm actually in a much more positive mindset than I've been in a really long time. And I don't know if part of that is just getting out and getting away from the same location and environment that has been associated with, this whole thing this last 3 years. Or if maybe a big part of that is that now that I've got it, like a lot of the fear is gone. I've heard people say that, like, now I'm not afraid anymore. So yeah. One thing I wanted to go back to I wanted to say it before, but I'm going to go back to it with the Paxlovid. Is some people asked me about, well, why didn't I want to take the Paxlovid because of the reduction of long COVID? So there was only one study that showed that Paxlovid reduced the risk of long COVID by 26%, and that does sound pretty impressive. And if that was the only decision to make in a vacuum, for sure I would have taken the Paxlovid right away. But again, like I said, I'm in a foreign country and introducing a new medication. There's potential risks there as well. And I think, the study that was done that showed that result, it was really, they compiled all kinds of different things they looked at, and there were lots of results, and that was one of them. It was a study done in the VA system, and the average age, I think the mean was like close to 60. Everybody in the study had one or more comorbidities that I don't have those. I mean, I have some autoimmune disease, but I'm not immune suppressed right now, so I really don't fit any of the risk criteria. I'm under 60 for a couple more years. So I didn't think that, I'm not so sure that those results are really applicable. It was also done before Omicron. Or it was actually started before Omicron. I don't know when it was completed. So a VA study with that kind of a population sample with that timing, reducing those people's risks by 20-something%, I didn't know if it was really going to be significant for me. I kind of doubt it. I'm a little skeptical of how generalizable that study is now at this time with younger, healthier people. So that's why that wasn't the only decision to make. Maybe if I was back in the States, maybe it would have been a different calculus. But anyway, here I am, and I am on Paxlovid, so I just took the first dose this morning. So I'll let you guys know how it goes. Thank you for the recommendation somebody gave me about cinnamon gum, because yesterday my husband had a little bit of that taste in his mouth. It wasn't bad, and he chewed some cinnamon gum, which I happen to have with me because I love cinnamon gum. Unfortunately, I had not opened it the whole time we were here. So now we have this whole pack to last us. But he said it helped, and then actually he didn't have any this morning. I thought maybe when he woke up in the morning, he hasn't had any of that bad taste. So hopefully that won't start up. Last thing I'm going to mention is some people have mentioned the rebound thing. Maybe you don't want to take Paxlovid because of potential rebound, and that was part of my calculation. That was also part of the decision. I don't want to risk the rebound. So now I am risking some rebound. I'll say two things about that. One, at least now we know, we didn't know this before. I used to be very concerned about this rebound phenomenon, but it seems that we understand now that that's really more of a nuisance, and it's nothing dangerous. So it would be a big nuisance. It would be a bummer. Really, it would be a bummer, right? To start feeling all better and then start to feel sick again. I am wondering, okay, this is just my brain. I'm not basing this on anything. But just like I had said about starting to get rid of mitigation after strategically timing your shot, I'm kind of wondering if there's a strategic timing that would help to prevent the rebound. So one of the theories about rebound is that it is because maybe when you, by the time you start it, you've only gotten infected so recently that the immune system hasn't had a chance to really get a good look at everything and start making good antibodies against everything before you had this antiviral kick in and help you. And you still end up with the immunity, because even if you get the rebound, you'll work on that. And there's no issue about, I think, getting COVID again after that. Rebound is not getting a new case of it. So after that, you should have hybrid immunity if you've been vaccinated and boosted. But, I wonder if, delaying 24, 48 hours, maybe even 72, oh well, I wonder if you take it later into that 5-day window, you're less likely to get any rebound, because you've given your immune system a little more of a chance to work with this virus. So I'm a population sample of 1, or my husband and I are a population sample of 2, and that does not a study make. But I will let you guys know just anecdotally how that works out. I'm hoping, of course, that neither one of us experiences rebound. And if we don't, it might just be that we're lucky. It might have nothing to do with the timing. But I only know 2 people who have had rebound, and both of them started the Paxlovid like immediately as soon as they were positive. And, with us, it was like a day and then 2 days for me. So I don't know anybody else that had rebound, and whatever. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. If it weren't for my GI thing, I wouldn't even be on Paxlovid, and that's kind of a stab in the dark. I'm hoping it helps with that, or at least prevents that from getting any worse, because I'm starting to think that maybe it's less ridding the virus and maybe a little bit more of the inflammatory process getting going, and that I don't want. I'd like some help tamping that down. So anyway, thank you again so much, and it's been very, very nice and very heartwarming to see all of your messages and all the conversation, and I'm hoping this is helpful. I read that, when you do something to give to people that you get back, and I guess I kind of believe that on a theoretical level, but this channel I didn't do to get anything out of. It's all just public service, and I have to say that since I started this channel, I have gotten so much. I've gotten just so much out of it, and one of the things is just seeing and hearing and feeling how many really nice people there are out there that want to help each other, and I'm really happy about that. So anyway, I'll let you guys know. Probably I'll check in tomorrow morning again, and until next time, be well. Bye-bye.